to do. So in terms of meaning needs, we've got the elemental, situationally relevant, quick support. We've got the alternative style representations, which means I don't get the whole thing, and let me spin it until I can see it better and go home and do get it. And then we've got the general navigation issues, which are how do I get from one place to another place in the universe, as opposed to how do I come home when I'm in one of the ballparks I want to be. And towards that end, there's two different systems. One is the one I showed you that I've used to kind of load up different types of
Meaning is the activity of information by David Boulton.
Again, another scripting automatically kind of sets things up as it moves along. So that's the library function. I can just pick something and jump that way. Now, in addition to that, let's actually go back. There's a table of contents, past paths, wherever I've been, index, and library, which are different levels, okay, of the playing field to navigate to things that are not just the next point in the sequence of unfolding, the next page, if you will. So, of course, whenever it is the next page, this suffices to take me to whatever is the next logical or sequential or preset relationship piece. Next page. I don't like that language, but we're kind of stuck with it to go to the next step. And in addition to this, see up here, this always indicates what type of representation I'm looking at. Let me go back to, let's take rainbow. So this is the central thread on rainbow as an example. And let me find a story. No, this is science and structure. Okay. Notice that when I change that, this changes as well. This is the indication that I'm in the reductionist structure. I'm in the more scientific structure, right? When I click on this, this gives me a display of everywhere I've been recently. If you think about it, we looked at the personalities from Gravity. We looked at the central thread in Gravity, the story about Darren, the central thread about Darren, the key points of Gravity. We've launched an external hypercard stack. We launched an external simulator about gravity. And we looked at the roots of gravity. So if I wanted to, for example, I could jump back to that here, this way. So I've got an immediate ability to travel back in my own personal past, because maybe I don't want to have to go through all this. I just want to visit something I know I saw recently. And then I can jump right back to where I was. It will learn to be whatever is really what works as we do it more. Right now, in this prototype, I have it going off the end at 20 jumps, okay, and showing you 10 at a time. Conceivably, though, that's a limitation that's really limited by what can we reasonably present to the learner. How can we present them a stream to travel on? So I can see us having an interface where that's really infinite. They could travel back in that path infinitely. Right now, I show 10. I'm going to describe a part of this as we go on. And one of the real beauties of this system keeps track of everywhere anybody goes. And so we've got that information for lots of purposes, which I'm going to describe. But there's we don't dispose of the information, so it's potentially infinite. I'm going to talk about that also. There's going to be both, that you can choose keywords. And you'll note this is different than other hypertext systems in that all the words that have something aren't lit up like some kind of a button or don't have some kind of an underline behind them. They can have if we wanted to do it that way. We elected not to for many reasons, including not wanting to intimidate people with a lot of choices that weren't real for them at the time.
Last time I asked you about the teaching of ethics,
Yeah. Yeah, subject matter. This is a mediation system. Yeah, let's come back to that, Louis. That's an important question, and it comes back to how does this relate to content in general? And what I'm saying is this is a television set, right? It doesn't care what movie you play on it. It can create this kind of a relationship with learning materials, whatever the learning materials are about, right? We'll get into that also. One of the things that's an important consequence of the way we've designed the data structures of what transports all the information is everything is so modularized that this is not a static publishing system. This is a system that's designed to grow and expand with use. So that all of these choices become very important as the system grows to embrace and enfold all kinds of different choices. And rather than a traditional database, and I don't want to be too technical for other people too early, but rather than a traditional database where I've got to replace this whole database when I make some kind of change, our structure is such that each significant meaning intention is its own micro database. It's got its own internal architecture and its own structure. Yes, yes. I mean, whatever metaphor works, but that's a great one. That the idea is, I mean, for me, the thing is, it's like a microscope, right? That we're providing for the learner, that allows them to put the slide through there, which is what education says I got to learn, and it's got this big thing full of lenses on it, and I can turn those lenses until the basic thing starts to come into focus, starts to work for me, and then, having done that, if I encounter some little part in it that doesn't work, I can go down to another level and turn the lenses until that's home. And then I can say, okay, I got this slide, put in another one. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Darren continues to change and grow, and there's another technology. I don't know if we're going to have time. I've got lots of technologies. This is just like one small piece that we're going to have time to go into today. Darren, I'll tell you the story. It's in the article. I'll be short about it because it's such a dear story to me. One night, I've been working on this stuff for years. I had built what you're seeing, okay? Darren and I have a very learning-oriented relationship, but I never discuss my work with him per se, that Daddy's building this, that, or that, you know. We don't talk about it explicitly, what I do. I should have brought it. And there you go.
I am wondering, why are you here?
Actually. Anyway, I was about to go out for a walk. We really liked walking at night, going out for walks every night, and at night when the world's kind of quiet, we can walk and talk about things. And normally we don't bring toys, we don't bring anything with us. It's just the two of us, and we go for a walk when it's quiet. It's usually all the other kids are asleep, and because I displace his time to maximize our time in some different ways. So we're out walking, and we're about to leave to go to walking, and he's got this thing in his hand. He says, I want you to bring. He says, I got this invention I want to share with you. And I said, okay, somewhat reluctantly, but okay, bring it along. And it looked like this. You know, this made out of constructs, for those of you that are little kids and know what those are, the little spider-like couplings that allow you to build stuff. So we went out for this walk, and I don't know, we're 15 or 20 minutes into it, and I'd long forgot about this, when all of a sudden, he sees this bug, right? And he jumps into what I call this curiosity crouch, where he kind of sits on his ankles, you know, goes down, like the kids will do. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.